at here. We are looking at Bard. So Bard is Google's answer to a search engine that responds with artificial intelligence. So rather than just getting a link, you get these several paragraphs about the subject you talk about. So I did my YouTube channel, and listen to this. Mike Kennedy is a YouTube channel that features videos about frugal living and surviving in today's economy. The host is Michael Kennedy, who lives in Gore, Maine, is a self-described frugal living expert who has been living a frugal lifestyle for over 10 years. He shares his tips, blah, blah, blah. Here's what he covers on his channel: how to save money on groceries, live a minimal lifestyle, how to find free or low-cost entertainment, how to make money online, no. How to invest your money, no. So the two glaring mistakes right there. Oh, Kennedy's a passionate advocate for his lifestyle. He believes that value kind of people, blah, blah, blah. If you're interested in the channel, check it out. And it has easy and concise things to follow to live a more frugal lifestyle. So it's interesting. This is almost all drawn from the description that I put in my channel. And then it added this other stuff about making money online and how to invest your money, which I don't think I've ever mentioned that at all. And it cuts out huge parts. Like, one of the huge things on my channel is all the reptile expos I covered, and it doesn't mention that I do any religious topics at all. And you will see kind of a wokeness in some of these answers. Let's look at Me Too. They give you like a paragraph, then you can do alternate ones. And so here's an alternate one. Let's covers a variety of topics. Save money, how to make money? No. How to live a more sustainable lifestyle? Yeah, I suppose so. His own experience, frugal living, blah, blah. Yes. Oh, he has many. This one's funny. The Mike Kennedy channel has been well received by viewers, with many praising Kennedy's down-to-earth approach and his helpful life advice. The channel has been featured in several media outlets, including Forbes, no it wasn't, Yahoo Finances, no it wasn't, and the Huffington Post, no it wasn't. It's interesting because, of course, here now, Mike Kennedy is a fairly common name. And there are some really famous people, that are kind of really famous that have the name Mike Kennedy. There's an author, there's a guy that climbs mountains, there's a pilot, I looked and it says, what possible connection would be in the Huffington Post? And I put the Huffington Post, then Mike Kennedy, and I came up with all these other Mike Kennedys. So it's made the mistake of including that information without actually checking to see if those were the right Mike Kennedys. Let's go look at the third one and see that. Okay. Oh, he has currently over 8,000 subscribers. He focuses on life in Maine. That's good. So, hobbies such as fishing and hiking. I haven't done much fishing. Friendly and outgoing person and enjoys sharing his own. Yeah, that's true. He's a talented photographer. Oh yeah, I'll give you that. Beautiful shots. If you're looking for a channel with gimps inside a small town Mainer, this is a channel to go to. Yep. My favorite store, Goodwill. Watch me rummage. I get a $3 digital camera, a new charging cord, books, and a couple sets of earphones. That could be true. Day in the life of small town Mainer? Probably. My first time fishing in Maine? I don't think that's in there. A hike in the White Mountains? That's definitely not on my channel. And a day at the beach in Maine? That's there. So, it's interesting because it makes mistakes, but includes them as if they're real. Here's an article too. Oxalic acid is a chemical in food, and if there's enough of it in the food, it can actually burn your mouth. And this is seen with Jack in the Pulpit tubers. Okay, if you try to eat them, your mouth will be on fire. And so I asked it the question: can oxalic acid break down by cooking? And it says, yeah, it can be reduced by 80%. And it goes on to talk a little more about it. So it's like, this answer seems okay, but I would have to go and check each paragraph and see if they based this little write-up was based on fact or just supposition or just completely made up. I did, which I won't show you, I did one of my brothers, and it got some of the facts of his life right, but it threw in these other things again, things that were just not true, and that's not good. Oh, I asked, I asked if, oh wait, this is way down. You can copy the things, but sometimes when I copied them a different way, and it put everything in here. Look, here's one though, where it said, I asked it about meat glue, and it said sources, learn more. So at least that's good. So I could go to those sources and check some of this information. Oh, here's one about sleep apnea I asked about. Will artificial intelligence be a threat to human life in the future? It wrote about that. Oh, I said, what were the most viewed videos on YouTube that had to do with survival? And it came out with a reasonable list, except that it treats the zombie apocalypse as an actual real event that's coming. But then, cheapest way to learn search engine optimization, and that seemed like okay. See, the problem is they all seem okay unless you know the subject thoroughly. And then you could say, oh, that's not right. Why does evil triumph? That wasn't too bad. Is time real or just a mental construct with no real substance? And again, that kind of gave me a decent answer, basically saying, yes, some scientists believe that time isn't a thing. It's just something we construct in our mind because we have memory. What's the first thing you can forage in Maine? We got the wild edible fiddleheads. And, that's pretty reasonable too. It is funny though. Oh, I asked if Gorham, Maine had any secrets. It doesn't appear to have secrets, but there are some ghosts. There's a secret tunnel that connects the Gorham Historical Museum to the Gorham Public Library. There's also a legend that there is a ghost that haunts the Gorham Public Library. So, did they make them up or were they rumors? It says these are rumors and legends. But again, if I was going to print this, if I wanted to use this information, I'd have to go in and check everything that it said. And why I'm making an emphasis on that is that, here's interesting enough flavor. I asked if there was a scientific way to determine if two flavors would go together without tasting them. And they talked about it, and it seemed very reasonable, but is it true? There's this been huge flood of people capitalizing on this artificial intelligence, saying, oh, one was a weekend seminar that you're going to pay $2,000 to go to so you can learn to create content with artificial intelligence. You could see that some of these things that the thing wrote, you could take right over and paste in something, pretend it's your own work. It's not like it's copyright. So you could pretend it's yours or just present it without your name, but just say, hey, here's some information. And what we have then is huge, huge volumes of material written by a machine that's not always careful about its facts. And that is real misinformation. Usually they talk about misinformation as something to do with politics, but here, if we're looking at something that has facts with it, it appears to present information that is not true as true. And in the long run, that can be very dangerous, especially you can imagine if I decide to use this for publishing, I could literally do like 300 posts a day with this and put this information on all kinds of different places and never check it. And then, you get all these views, maybe I could use it for, I didn't try writing a script for a YouTube video about starting fires or whatever, or something like that. But, so we can have this vast amount of information, this tidal wave of things that appear to be written by humans who care what's right and wrong, and it's actually written by a machine. And then the other thing I noticed that wasn't good is it is woke, it is liberal, it's slanted that way. It was funny. I asked because I've been, something came up again about. I was watching a video about the tallest people in Africa. Okay, there's a tribe. I can't remember the name of it, but they mentioned the fact that some of them were still slaves. In this country, you were either, you were three classes, and the bottom class was slave. If you were born a slave, you remain a slave. And I was like, is slavery still a thing in Muslim countries? And, I asked this, Bard that, and Bard was like, oh no, they gave me all the dates when these countries abolished slavery, but evidently it's still going on. And I asked some more pointed questions about Muhammad, and at one point it just came back and said, hey, I'm a AI language system. I'm not qualified I can't comment on that. So it was very obvious that it wasn't going to say bad things about certain people. I asked about a missing person. How do you, and it was like, oh no, I can't do that. But then I used an actual name. But then I said, how do you find a missing person? And they went into call the police. You might have to, might hire private eye, blah, 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 So, but just this idea that we're going to have to be careful going forward, because once these things are fully implemented, anyone can produce an article of any length, probably about anything, without actually knowing about the subject and without actually doing fact checking. And as we've seen in the past too, unfortunately, fact checking sites have become biased. They've become politically oriented, and they often will not counter some facts from some sides, but from other sides they will. So, and they're primarily human, so it's easier to see how that could be accomplished because of a human bias. But it appears to me that there is a liberal or woke political correctness or whatever that is included in the operating system that spits out these paragraphs that is known as BARD. So give it a chance. I had to sign up for a chance to use it. I used it, and like I say, very interesting, but there is material wrong. If you were to, my goodness, if you were to do a research paper or anything for a school, and you pass that paper in, if anyone was to actually read it, they're probably going to have a glaring example of a mistake in it that they're going to be like, how could that person have let that go through? And because it wasn't the person, it was a machine that, just as it got me, Mike Kennedy, confused with some famous guy that got written up in the Huffington Post, it's going to make mistakes with other critical points, especially in articles that are intended to inform people. Tell me what you think. Bye.